Sometimes a simple story can tell you so much more than just the story itself. It can be like this little window that opens up, giving you a peek into a whole different way of thinking about things like healthcare, community, and even time. Today, we're going to unpack one of those stories. We'll follow a simple trip to what's called a Pharmacie de Garde in France and see how it reveals a system built on something way deeper than just buying and selling medicine. Okay, so picture this. It's Sunday night. The house is finally blissfully quiet. The long week is over, and then you hear it, that deep, unmistakable cough coming from your kid's room. You know that feeling, right? It's that instant jolt of parental panic. You run to the medicine cabinet, you grab the syrup, and it's empty. Totally empty. And just like that, you feel like you've hit a wall. The story gives us this perfect French word to describe the father's feeling in this moment: l'inquiétude. And this isn't just, oh, I'm a little concerned. No, this is that heavy pit in your stomach kind of anxiety. It's a deep unease. This really sets the stage. This isn't just about a cough. For him, it's a real emotional crisis. And that feeling of l'inquiétude gets cranked up to 11 by one simple, brutal word: vide, empty. The bottle isn't just low, it's vide. It's such a final word. It's the perfect symbol for how you feel as a parent in that moment. Completely out of resources, out of options. Or so it seems. So, what's the solution? Well, it's right there in the title of the story, La Pharmacie de Garde. Now, your first instinct might be to translate that as 24-hour pharmacy, but that doesn't really get to the heart of it. The key word here is garde. It means on guard or on duty. And believe me, that one little word changes absolutely everything. Let's break down what that really means. What most of us are used to is the 24-hour drugstore. It's a business, right? It's all about commercial convenience. But the Pharmacie de Garde comes from a totally different place. It's seen as a civic responsibility. It's a community safety net where all the local independent pharmacies take turns being on guard. It's not about profit. It's an obligation to the community, making sure someone is always there so everyone else can rest easy. Okay, so with that idea in mind, let's jump back in the car with Mark, the father. He's found the address of the pharmacy that's on duty, and he heads out into the night. And the story really paints a picture here because the whole atmosphere is key to understanding what he's feeling. The story really leans into this idea of l'obscurité, the darkness. It's a cold January night. The streets are completely deserted. It makes the world feel kind of empty, maybe even a little hostile. You really feel Mark's sense of isolation as he's out there all by himself. And here's the curious little detail. The story says he drives lentement, slowly. Now, you'd think a panicked dad would be rushing, right? But he's not. He's driving with caution, carefully making his way through this world that feels pretty unwelcoming at the moment. And then he sees it. That glowing green cross. If you've been to France, you know the symbol. But here, in the middle of a dark, empty night, it's so much more than just a sign. It's a beacon. It's like a lighthouse cutting through the fog, promising that help is right there. It's just this huge visual sigh of relief. So Mark walks in, and the first thing he hears is not some electronic beep or chime. It's the gentle jingle of la clochette, a little bell on the door. And that one sound changes the entire vibe instantly. He's leaving the cold, impersonal night behind and stepping into a place that feels warm, personal, and human-sized. And the person waiting inside for him just confirms that feeling. He meets the pharmacist, Madame Fontaine, and her very presence tells him that this is going to be a different kind of experience. This is about care, not just a cure. The story gives us this wonderful, warm image of her. She's an older woman, she has kind, round glasses, and this is the most important detail. She's wearing a wool cardigan. A cardigan might not seem like a big deal, but here, it's everything. Le gilet. What's the opposite of a soft wool cardigan? A sterile white lab coat? A lab coat creates distance. It says, I'm the expert, you're the patient. But the cardigan, that signals comfort, warmth, home. It's like he's just walked into his grandmother's living room. So before she suggests any medicine, before she does anything else, Madame Fontaine does the most important thing possible. She listens. The story says she listens attentively. She doesn't rush him. She gives him her full, undivided attention. And in that moment, just being heard is like the first dose of medicine for his panic. Then she offers him two kinds of medicine. First, there's the science, right? The actual syrup for the cough and lozenges for the throat. But then she gives him something else, something the story calls a conseil de grand-mère, a grandmother's tip. Her advice? to make a simple herbal tea, a tisane, with thyme and honey. Now, just stop and think about that. A trained modern pharmacist is prescribing tea. It's this beautiful moment where science and tradition aren't in conflict. They're working together. The syrup treats the body, but the ritual of making the tea, well, that treats the soul. It gives a helpless feeling parent an active, caring role to play.
As they're talking, a small exchange reveals an even deeper philosophy at play here, one that's all about time. Mark asks her if she has to work on Sundays very often. And her answer is just perfect. She says she actually enjoys the Sunday shifts. Why? Because people are not pressé. They're not in a hurry. During the week, it's all a rush. People want to get their pills and get out. But on a quiet Sunday night, the whole frantic pace of the world just stops. The priority shifts from pure efficiency to human connection. In her own words, we take the time to talk.
And that connection, that simple act of taking the time to talk, is what brings Mark's whole emotional journey to its powerful conclusion. He walked in there feeling completely alone. Remember, he started with that heavy, isolating feeling of l'inquiétude. He leaves feeling rassuré, reassured. The situation hasn't really changed. It's still a cold night. His son is still sick. But his internal world has been completely transformed because he's no longer carrying that worry all by himself. When he gets home, his grandmother asks him, "Did you find what you needed?" And his reply is the heart of the entire story. Yes, and even a little more. He went out looking for a product, for something in a bottle. What he found was a relationship. That little more was the reassurance, the kindness, and the human connection he didn't even know he was looking for. And that's really what this simple story leaves us with. It's this big, powerful question. It's a reminder that all our systems, whether it's healthcare or anything else, are built on a set of values. The Pharmacie de Garde isn't just designed for efficiency. It's designed to maintain the social fabric, to be there for people when they feel most vulnerable. So it makes you wonder, what if we designed more of our world with that little more in mind? What if our systems were built not just for speed, but for connection?